All right, welcome into hour two. I like what Drew said here, too. Brought up a great point. Drew said Musgrave had 3 yards less than Kraft in 6 fewer games in 2023, so Musgrave definitely has something to offer. He does. The biggest change there, in my opinion, was definitely the whole passer rating when targeted, right? It was significantly lower than Tucker Kraft, and to me, that was just a testament to Tucker Kraft making the most of his opportunities, right? Whether it was the yardage, but obviously he didn't have a drop until what? God, it was I want to say it was the playoff game against the Cowboys, and I don't even know if that was technically a drop, to be honest with you. So Tucker Kraft showing sure hands for sure. So all right, let's move it along here onto the next tweet. Let's see what we got in here. I can't even remember. Oh, this was really cool. I don't know if you guys seen this, but Lambeau Field actually tweeted out that video of the statues out front. If you guys have never been to Lambeau Field and you don't know what I'm talking about on the podcast here, they've got a set of statues out front where it's basically you can do a Lambeau leap, right? They got a mock wall set up with these statues of fans where you can take a picture there, kind of jump up on the wall. Tim, I know you've done this 1,000 times. You got to do it every time you go over to Lambeau, right?
Yeah, man, right over there by the atrium and the pro shop entrance, go see Curly and Vince and then do a Lambeau leap and then go buy a $200 jersey, spend your day at the at Lambeau for sure. But no, man, this is one of the things that's great about just being close and being able to go over there is just to see things like that and experience it in, all the different seasons. This time of the year, Titletown, Lambeau Field is it's something else. Get your holiday photos and winter wonderland experience in if you can, if you're up here. It's a great time of year to go hang out over there for sure.
Yeah, especially with the snow flying too. It doesn't get any better.
Yeah, I can't believe I missed that, dude. Like when I was there, we got there late that night, went to dinner at 1919. I was in the atrium, but it was nighttime, went to the pro shop. By the time I came back the next morning, parked in a neighborhood, walked across a grass field, and I was at like the back where the buses were. My gate was right there. We walked in. So like, I didn't even see the front of the stadium. So I need to, when we go up for the draft, need to adjust that and get a picture up there. Maybe we could all fit on the wall together. That'd be a good one.
There you go.
Absolutely. Drew D in the chat said it's getting to negative 20 degrees tonight / in the morning here with the wind chill. So
plug that block heater in. You're going to need it.
You're going to have to make sure those glow plugs are plugged up. Got to keep it warmed up. All right. Up next, Paul Brettel put a tweet out. I wanted to hit on LaFleur on Kenny Clark. Quote, I think Kenny's playing some really good football right now, and that's going to be pivotal for us moving forward. With the run defense heating up in the recent weeks, Clark is tied for 6th in PFF's run stop rate metric the last 3 weeks. Now, you guys know last night we hit some of the tape and showed him absolutely dominating in the run game there against Detroit. So it's good to see Kenny kind of crank it up here as the football gets more and more important. We get closer to the playoffs. It's nice to know, too, people like Paul Brettel identifying this and highlighting it. Obviously, we caught it last week and he really, really popped on the tape. It's just confirmation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's Kenny just being a veteran player, too, and embracing his role on this defense. He knows he doesn't have to rush the passer all the time. There's not a lot of pressure on him to get a lot of those pressures. A lot of times it's just keeping the middle of that D-line solid in the run fits and letting our other guys tee off, And I just think it's really cool to see, Kenny, you got a soft spot in your heart for him, right? We brought him in, we drafted him. He's the longest tenured Packer on this team, and he's fully embracing this veteran leadership position. And he's going to be pivotal going forward. I agree with Coach LaFleur for sure.
Yeah, and the big thing for me too, I'm sure people in the chat are also thinking like, Clayton, didn't you say we needed a 3-tech? Yeah, Kenny, what we've noticed this year is they're playing him at 1-tech more than anything, right? So we still need that true 3-tech. You need it. And I know Kenny got the bag, and who knows, maybe the draft falls a certain way where you go draft a 1-tech and you kick Kenny over consistently playing a 3, and then you kind of move forward like that. That could be an option too. But again, do I think he's lived up to the contract he signed? Absolutely not. That's just me personally. But the fact that he's playing his best football, as LaFleur confirmed, and we've seen on the tape, and Paul Brettel tweeting this out, it's exciting for Packer fans to know that he's playing his best football now as we get ready for the playoffs for sure. So really excited to see what Kenny does down the stretch here. So here's the man of the hour, Mr. Luke Musgrave. I wish I'd have had the Matt Schneidman tweet where someone said, "Why is he so red?" And Matt Schneidman kept it simple and said, "Because it's colder than ish out here." That's all he said. But here was Musgrave in his locker earlier today. Let's see what he had to say.
Like to get back out there? I think as soon as practical. So I don't know if there's a timeline, but as soon as possible. But they'll let me go. I'll go.
What does that mean, though, to be potentially in the cards here to help this team that's kind of push at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think it's that I can go out there and contribute in a positive way to the team, whether it's a limited role or wherever they see me. But so whenever that time comes, I'll be back.
Just for like to get that was a blessing too, guys. That he doesn't have to. You got Tucker Kraft. He doesn't have to step right back into that number one role.
Yep.
Just ease him right back in, right?
Yep. We got Ben Sims too. He's been playing good ball. Out there. So I like his attitude, right? If it's limited or however I can contribute, they let me go out there, I'll go out there. So, I mean, we're in a good spot. We don't have to rush him, back into pivotal role in the offense right away.
Yeah. Right. Because I think they had him dressed in the game before he had the surgery or whatever as like a reserve role. That's kind of where we could use him right now. Hey, have one or two plays either dialed up for him or dialed up with him in there to draw a certain coverage or a certain 12 or 11, 13, whatever, and go from there. I think that's totally fine with him. We don't need him to run the tight end room.
Yep.
Exactly. It's just, I don't know. It's nice. It's nice to know that you get that kind of depth, and the fact that if we want Ben Sims back, he'll be back next year. I love the thought that next year's tight end room is going to be Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave, and Ben Sims once again. And if John Fitzpatrick comes back, awesome. If not, then maybe you draft someone too, right? And get him in there too. So, Carly, if you got anything to add, you just chime in, cut us off, okay?
I had a thought on the tight end, at least on the position that I wanted to share and see what you guys thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
People always say that tight end is like one of the hardest positions to to learn as a rookie, and just to be able to make a difference. But I was also thinking that our receivers and the way that Matt LaFleur is teaching them, like they're blocking, they're really being put in the roles where they have to almost serve in that tight end as well, in that tight end role. It's really like they're capable of it. It's also like we have more tight ends. I know it's not the same body type exactly in the same position, but it really screws up with what the people on defense can expect when you have wide receivers that aren't just stuck in those receivers route running roles, but can be as effective blockers. I think it really maximizes our potential on offense.
No block, no rock.
Exactly, Coach. It's a great point. Like and what it allows you to do is Christian Watson blocks like a tight end. Now, you would never line him up attached to play true Y. You'll put him in that wings area, right? So you can kind of hide him behind the tight end and let him get out there and dig out a safety or dig out a nickel. But the fact that you can go to 11 personnel and have him play one of those nasty splits and get in there and really affect the running game, because he's going to be going up against a nickel. He'd be going up against a safety or a corner. It's absolutely huge. It's a great observation, Carl. So I don't know. It's exciting to see the plan come together for LaFleur and exactly what he's looking for in the receiver room. And again, there's some guys that, fans in the past, oh man, he'd be a true number one, get him in there. And then you look and watch him block on tape and it's like, no, that's not a fit for what we do for sure.
Right. So, it'll be something he'll have to work on in the offseason, just like Tucker worked on his block. And I think Jordan was saying that in his interview. Tucker's really worked on his block and wanted to get better at that, and it's shown. I think that's something that either they can work on together, that, he could give him some pointers, all that. I think that'll be big offseason point.
Yeah, for sure. Jacob Morley with another banger of a tweet. 2022 draft class. All right, so this is across the NFL. Offensive tackle pass blocking grades at draft position, minimum 250 snaps. Okay, this is the 2022 draft class. The top pass blocking tackles. Number 1, Bernhard Raymond, 85.1. He was a third-round pick 77. Number 2, Zach Tom, 82.3, fourth-round pick 140. Number 3, Rasheed Walker, 81.8, round 7, pick 250. Number 4, Charles Cross at an 81.2, round 1, pick 9. And number 5, Braxton Jones at an 80. He was picked in round 5 at pick 168. Guys, 4 of the 5 top pass blocking tackles in the game from the 2022 draft class there's only one of them that was drafted in the first round. And we know there's plenty of tackles that go in the first round too. This is freaking awesome that 2 of the 5 are on the Packers team.
Yeah, Rasheed Walker being the super standout, right? He's like I don't know, he's like our Brock Purdy, right? Almost took him dead last, and now he's a starter, and that, you know, that's his role, that's his job, because he earned it. You know, we saw him sprinkled in when you know, Bakhtiari was battling the never-ending knee issue, and you know, Rashid was thrown into the fire, and I think it's made him the player he is right now, honestly. And his development has just been awesome for a 7th rounder. I love it.
Yeah, and it kind of goes hand in hand too, Emilio, like what we talked about. If Josh Myers doesn't come back and you kick Elton Jenkins over to center, right, the fact that you got your tackle position locked down with late round picks, and I know Zach Tom's eventually going to get paid. He's going to get paid darn good, like he should. But with Sheed, you know, it's kind of the similar situation. Like, I don't think Rasheed Walker is going to break the bank, though. Zach Tom will. Rasheed Walker will probably get on a pretty decent deal, albeit it is left tackle and the most expensive position on the offensive line. It's just awesome to know that Elton could kick in. Your corners are covered, right? Your corner of protection's covered. You can put Elton at center if Josh Myers does walk. And then, of course, you got Jordan Morgan and Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan playing some darn good football right now. Can play guard for us, too.
Don't forget about Michael Jordan, too, man. Come on now.
Yeah, I always like to harden up the outsides and the center, right? When you're building that wall, we need a center point, 2 edges that are nice and sturdy, and then we can figure out what's going on in the middle. But that's all it is protect Jordan Love, protect Josh Jacobs, and open up some holes and let them just go to work. I think the line's been doing that. And like Jordan was saying, the offensive physicality, even the team physicality, is set by that O-line and that D-line, and we either, you know, need to just make sure we hammer out the little things, get through that snap count, let's fix all that stuff, and let's keep showing up. But the fact that that line is setting that tone, being 4th round, 7th round, I mean, you get those kind of guys that are gritty, that want to make a name. Hey, you didn't pick me in the first. You get that kind of chip on your shoulder. I love that.
Yep.
Definitely. It's a real thing, man. It's a real factor. You know, when you draft a 1st rounder, they definitely don't have that chip on their shoulder. Not near to the effect of someone who drops to the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, or even 7th round. Like they're coming out going, okay, all these teams passed up on me. Let's prove them wrong, right? It's huge. It really is. I think that's the big benefit. One of the other benefits to trading back and collecting a multitude of picks and taking multiple swings. And the other beautiful thing too, let's say Rasheed Walker didn't pan out, right? Jonathan Ford's one. Wasn't Jonathan Ford a 7th round pick? Am I thinking right?
Yeah.
When you cut him loose or you put him on the practice squad, you're not forfeiting hardly any money at all, if any at all, you know, in terms of signing bonus, right? If you draft a 1st rounder and you got this signing bonus attached to him, there's cap penalty involved if you do cut him and decide, okay, he's not what we were looking for. But also you've got this whole nuance within the organization where the GM's thinking, hey, he's a stud. I'm the one who scouted him. And the coach might be under his breath going, I don't know, man, he plays like hot trash. And now you're stuck kind of trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, right? So those late round picks, man, you don't have that pressure. You really don't. So
even though they do try to hang on to their picks, right, get through the first year hanging on to them, you know, through cut downs and all that. But after that, it's, you know, you're not as attached to it because you have another 7th or 2 7ths coming up. And especially the fact that Gutey's had multiple, I think it makes it easier.
Yeah. I agree. All right, let's see. I think we're all caught up. We are. So we're all caught up on Twitter. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we jump into a little PFF preview? Anything that might have thought it might have triggered, anything like that?
No, just another Josh Myers appreciation comment. I think, you know, we can talk about moving guys around all we want. The fact that he's been kind of steady Eddie, as Jacob would say, right? Steady Eddie at that position. Maybe not doing anything super spectacular, but we have seen improvement. Yeah, like Antonio's saying here, big risk in letting Myers go. Now, I'm not saying you back up the Brinks truck and give him a ton of money, but I do think you have to consider keeping him around, if anything, for depth, and then allow yourself, time to move someone else into that center position. But really do appreciate Josh gritting through a lot of these nagging injuries, things like a pectoral in your thumb, and when you're snapping the ball 50, 60 times a game, that's no joke, man. I fell asleep funny the other night and my arm still hurts. I can't imagine going out and, banging heads with guys, for, entire games week to week and then just gritting through it at practice and being available. So shout out to Josh.
Right.
Long way removed from snap the freaking ball, Josh. We are now tough guy, Josh. Thank you for your service, Josh. I love it.
Yeah.
While his head was down, I was saying while his head was down too, Tim, just getting blown off the ball by the DN, everyone was jumping the snap count. I like that he took the initiative to go over to Jordan and say something about it. I mean, I know Jordan's got a lot going on. I know everyone's thinking it, but Josh is like, dude, I'm getting cooked. Like this is not going to look good on us.
That's a great point because we should look for that this weekend, right? Sunday night, we should see a change, with how we're snapping the ball and dealing with these guys coming off the line for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be good practice. And Matt said it'll harden them. Any away game where you can get either a win or learn something from it, it's something that's going to harden the team. I think that, I was going to ask is we want to, so say we're going to go play Seattle. We want to win this game. And then are we ready to, have to go back and play them again? Are we ready to win back-to-backs or 2 games against a power or, a strong team?
Yep.
Go ahead, Tim. Did you mark that one? Was that you?
Yeah. I thought that was funny too for this. Now it's don't puke on the freaking ball, Josh.
That's fair.
It's hilarious that even happened, man. It's hilarious that I ended up in a Sports Illustrated article on.
Yeah, that was funny
because of my tweet. I was the first person to catch it. Evidently, I was literally just. And you know how it is, take your eye off the ball, right? And I'm kind of scanning the field, the coverage, this and that. And I come right back to the offensive line and kind of looking at it. And all of a sudden, I'm like, did he just puke on the ball? I didn't realize he puked on the ball.
The funniest part was Malik Willis having that same reaction, right? And he's like, I'm not, what the hell you want me to do with this?
And then Matt LaFleur getting mad, like, why didn't you throw the damn ball? Josh puked on it. Matt said, first time I ever heard that. Like, I've been coaching a long time. Never heard that. Never had that happen. It was so smooth, though, man. Just a slight kick to the side, snap the ball.
Yeah, right. We didn't even get a false start, man.
Mental toughness, man. No doubt about it. So, yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, this other one too. I just want to say this. T. Rattler says you got to give Steno a huge amount of credit for the development and consistency of the O-line. Obviously, Stenovich is the offensive coordinator, but before he was promoted offensive coordinator, he was the offensive line coach. I'm sure he has a lot of say in that room, but you also got to give a little bit of credit to Coach Butkus too, right? I've been critical of Coach Butkus from time to time because we would, first of all, when the snaps were bad when Aaron was here, it's like, what are we doing, right? And then the other thing too, was the run blocking when you look at the run blocking grades. But again, as the seasons went along and we had mentioned this earlier in the year that, hey, maybe PFF truly don't understand what's being taught there in Green Bay from a run blocking standpoint, because when you consistently have running backs just absolutely stick out like, hey, these dudes are studs. And now we can, 1 year removed from Aaron Jones being here, Aaron Jones, it was the same thing. Run blocking grades were trash. Aaron Jones was running crazy. Oh, it's just Aaron Jones. Josh Jacobs comes in. He's running like crazy. The grades are still trash. Okay. Emmanuel Wilson, not highest graded running back. It's like, okay, maybe PFF don't know what the hell we're trying to do run blocking wise.
Maybe they don't know that we block with our tight ends and our receivers, and we let our running back run the football.
It's just, again, PFF, we say it all the time. It's not everything. It's a great.
It's the only thing. Oh no, my bad.
Unbelievable. So that's why we're always cross-checking, right? And we're going to continue to do that for sure. So, but I'm with you, T. Rattler. Got to give Steno a lot of credit, man, for sure, for what he's done with that offensive line. So, all right, let's do a little PFF preview. We got a few minutes here. Let's kind of dive into the early stages of this, and we'll go ahead and go full screen, make it easier on everyone. So, the way it sits right now, the current forecast, obviously, is going to be a Sunday night game there in Seattle. No, it's on the West Coast, so it's going to be a little earlier local, obviously. But 45 degrees and overcast at kickoff is what it sounds like. So, you know how
cloudy with a chance of flags.
Yeah, and definitely a chance of rain out there in Seattle. You know how that goes, right? So it may say overcast and cloudy. Don't be surprised if it starts raining out there in Seattle. So. Unbelievable. All right, so team metrics. I'm glad y'all couldn't see my face on that one. Team metrics. Power ranking overall, the Packers are not. The Seattle Seahawks are 13th. All right, so that's how the power ranking currently sits. Power ranking on defense, the Packers are 15th, Seattle is 14th. So the slot edge goes to Seattle in defense, and it goes to the slot edge to the Green Bay Packers for the slot edge on offense. All right, power ranking, overall offensive, or overall it goes to the Packers at 9th. Power ranking on offense, the Packers are 14th. Look at Seattle, guys, 6th overall in power ranking on offense. So we're going to dive into that as we get a little later in the week and see exactly what it is they do well. I'll tell you this, their quarterback is playing good football. I know that. I was looking at some of the tape earlier today. Strength of schedule played. The Packers have the 5th toughest schedule played this year, and the Seattle Seahawks have the 19th toughest. Now, the fact that the Seattle Seahawks are sitting at 8-5 and they've played the 19th toughest schedule says a lot about the team. Now, listen, the team's different in the second half of the season than they are in the first. Anyone will say it doesn't matter what team you're talking about. It's a much different team as the season goes along and evolves. They adapt, change what they're doing, and obviously guys get a little bit better grab of the system. So you got to kind of throw that out the window when you're talking about how did this team play in week 3 or week 4 as opposed to week 15, right, or week 14. So average offensive snaps, the Packers are at 65.1. The Seahawks are at 69.2. So they're averaging a little over 4 more offensive snaps per game than the Packers. Percentage of run plays, the Packers 47.2%. Look at the Seahawks, 34%. So they are throwing the ball all over the yard at a clip of 66% of the offensive snaps, as where the Packers are 52.8.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's absolutely crazy, I think. Yeah. They're asking Geno to do a lot there. They're asking him to basically run the offense. Not a game manager. We hate that, but it's like 66. I mean, that you're begging.
Right. And when you look at the EPA per run too, the Packers are, let's see, would they be better or worse? They would be better there, right? Negative 0.04 EPA per run, as where the Seahawks are negative 0.19 EPA per run. In the passing game, EPA per pass, the Packers are at a positive 0.17 and the Seahawks are at a positive 0.06. So in EPA, that would suggest that the Packers have the advantage in both running and passing, although when you look at the offensive power ranking, they have Seattle significantly higher, but you do have to take into consideration, that's the reason they put it on this sheet, is the strength of schedule played, right? So probably has a lot to do with that. What do you guys think about the metrics there in terms of the team aspect of how this game may be played? Overall, offense, defense, anything we covered there?
I think it's just tough, the fact that they're running so few plays and struggling with it. I mean, not 100%, but they're negative, 0.9, almost 0.2, or 0.19, almost 0.2. And then you have their EPA per pass at 0.06. They're barely breaking even there, and we're exceeding them in both of those categories, doing more running and less throwing with better numbers. I like that for our team. If it works for Seattle, let them do it. But I think that we got to keep this in mind when we go back to play them. It gets a little colder in the winter if we have to go back there in the playoffs. It's snowing and stuff, and they want to throw the ball all the time. I mean, we'll see this week a little bit with it being rainy and if they're going to be able to stick to it. But, moving forward, is that something they're going to be able to hammer out the rest of the year?
Yeah. I say from the defensive side, fire that blitz, baby. Let's tee off. If Geno Smith wants to drop back and throw, we need to put pressure on that offensive line for sure. I mean, this is the game. I don't think you're going to hear me complain about us blitzing too much. I think it's time. Go ahead and tee off. Let's go.
Yeah, Coach Lynn says here, and I haven't got a chance to look at this too extensively, Coach. He says Seattle's pass blocking is horrendous. So you may be onto something there. There you go.
I'm with you, Coach Lynn. Let's go.
I've about marked a couple Hawk Tua comments several times. Let's look at the quarterback matchup since we're kind of talking about it. Jordan Love versus Geno Smith. And Carly, again, chime in. Anything you got, okay? Just cut us off. I don't want to put you on a spot and try to make you talk if you ain't got none or don't want to talk. So.
I appreciate it. My husband's here making some noise in the background, so I'm also not wanting to have that come through too much on the pod.
Oh, we're going to give him some.
We appreciate it. All right, so good drop, Tim. Quarterback comparison: Jordan Love at a 76.8, Geno Smith 83.3. Boys, he's playing some good football this year. Passer rating when clean 106.7 for Jordan Love. Geno Smith 105.6. So slight edge to Jordan Love there. Passer rating under pressure: Jordan Love 72.9, Geno Smith, 58.8. Big time throw percentage, Jordan Love at 3.72%, and Geno Smith at 4.39%. So the big time throw percentage is the first thing that's went in Geno Smith's favor outside of the overall PFF grade of 83.3 over 76.8. Turnover worthy play percentage, here we go. Jordan Love, 3.46%. Geno Smith, only 2.11%. So he's definitely protecting the football better than Jordan Love, albeit Jordan Love in the last few games obviously looks like a different quarterback. Power rating, Jordan Love has a 4.0, Geno Smith has a 3.5, and the power rating rank, Jordan Love is sitting in the 9 spot, Geno Smith is in the 11 spot there. What do you guys think about the quarterback matchup here, man? It looks like Geno Smith playing some pretty good football, though.
Yeah, you can't sleep on him. You know, I obviously think we have the better quarterback, but this is a guy you don't take for granted, and that's why I'm saying if the O-line is decimated and they can't pass block, if he's going to try and throw the ball, man, we got to pressure him, because I feel like a guy like him, if you give him too much time, he can pick you apart, or he can do it with his feet too. So you have to respect the game for sure.
Yep. Yeah, and I would think that to that point, Tim, of him using his feet, that's where that 83.3 is coming from. If you probably dove a little bit into it, his scrambling or running grade is probably pretty decent. I know that's how he kind of beat San Fran, was being able to use his legs to extend the play. Then you find somebody open, you can't cover for 10 seconds. We know the man story and all that. So I think that his legs are a big part of it, and Jordan didn't have his leg really for some of the beginning of the season. I think those are all starting to come back to him now.
Yeah. Yep. Ron Samuel in the chat says Geno Smith has more interceptions with 12. So that's an interesting number there. I know Daryl in the chat also said, I'm sure Jordan Love won't throw any INTs against Seattle Seahawks this Sunday. That's going to be the tell of the tape there, guys. It's going to be what controls the game. We talk about it all the time. Protecting the football is going to be huge. And hopefully we got that. It don't take a quarter and a half to get that silent count squared away. As we know, it's going to be tough there in Seattle, just like it was in Detroit. Maybe not quite as loud as Detroit, because that fan base is absolutely fired up right now. But Seattle, man, 12th man, when they're winning, and the reality is they're in the playoffs right now, so they have a reason to show up and get loud. So it's going to be tough in that regard too. So as Drew D in the chat here says, 58.8 passer rating under pressure. We need to get after Geno. Kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying, Tim. Respect Orange just says number 8 for McKinney Sunday. Hey, calling it. I love it, man.
I love it. Let's go.
Yeah. And Drew D says, let's blitz our linebackers so they don't get stuck. They don't get stuck in pressure. And here's the thing, like when you're talking blitzing, it doesn't necessarily mean 5 or 6, right? Let's do some fire zone blitzing. Let's get creative with it, right?
Exactly.
And if Adrian Cooper's on the field, I want to see him on at least 2 or 3 blitzes.
Yep. Because like to Emilio's point, it's true. I mean, you got to keep him in the well. Like you want to apply pressure, but we can't get over, extended, and we can't let him wiggle out of that pocket. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he's going to light us up in space with his feet.
Right.
Yeah. And Drew D said that he meant coverage, not pressure there, so they don't get stuck in coverage. I'm excited. I hope Adrian Cooper plays, man. I think he makes a big, big difference. And I know he's not playing 100% of the snaps, but he gets in there. If we end up, having 50 snaps on defense and he plays in 20 of them, he's gonna make an impact. There's no doubt in my mind. All right, so let's look at the betting line for you gambling degenerates in here. All right, the spread is currently at 2.5 points. It's 2.5 points. The money line, the juice is on Seattle at plus 127. So the Packers are 2.5 point favorites currently, according to PFF and their market. Okay, so here's how the line opened. It opened at Packers being 2.5 point favorites. It climbed up to the Packers being 3 point favorites, dropped back down to 2.5, came back up to 3. And now is back settled in at 2.5. But when you look at PFF's number here, PFF has it Seattle at plus 1.6. So they have it a little closer than that 2.5. Okay. So, and you guys know they kind of put their own line together. That's what that means there. When we look at how the public is gambling on this game, again, the Packers being 2.5 point favorites. What is this? 2-0 for this? You heard me get quiet as soon as it popped up. 2-0 for this says only gambling I do is eating a gas station hot dog every now and then. Hey,
he's not spoiled like you guys in Tennessee. You got that good gas station chicken down there.
But your boy right here, man, I traveled through Kentucky most of my life, and I like a good challenge. I'll stop in there. I'll get a hamburger at a gas station with some mayo on. It's been under a heat lamp all day. I ain't scared. It's good for the gut, boys. You know what I'm saying?
You think God never farted?
He did, Brett. So the market spread, all right, let's talk about where the market is at. The value, obviously, they've got the Packers at minus 1.1% and the Seattle Seahawks at minus 3.7%. So the value is definitely in the Packers' favor. 61% of the public's money, okay, is on the Packers to cover that 2.5-point spread, meaning they will win by 3 points or more, okay?
We got to get that number up near
65%.
65%. That's what we're closing in, Mark. Bets percentage, though. So, again, 61% of the cash is on the Packers minus 2.5, but 51% of the bets, the tickets themselves, are on Seattle plus 2.5. Okay, so that's pretty close there as far as the number of bets. However, the majority of the money is what is this? Where did that come from? What is...
You got to take the power away from him. That's ridiculous.
I'm just trying to figure out where the hell it came from. That was awesome. Love everybody's facial expressions there. You gotta love that stuff. All right. So money line, just winning outright. Okay. Like I said, the juice is on Seattle at 127. When you look at the money, the cash itself, the overall dollar amount, 94% of the money is on the Packers. Okay. So the public is real heavy on the Packers there.
You hear that, Cleet? You hear that?
Oh, he heard it. I'm afraid he heard it loud and clear, Tim, to be honest with you. Bets percentage, though. So the number of bets, the tickets themselves, 82% of the tickets are on the Packers to win outright. So the public is all over the Packers. Some see it as a good thing. Sometimes, me being a gambling degenerate, I get a little nervous on that because, again, Vegas knows what they're doing. So that's right, half. You're gonna have to put that back up there, Tim. You go putting all your money on these bets that 94% of the public are on. You got to be careful. You'll be the only thing you can afford as far as sunglasses is going to be those gas station version that our boy Halfley's got on. Right there, you know what I'm saying? So
too old for this is eating gas station hot dogs, and Jeff Halfley's buying his shades there.
I love what Siggy says here too. The fact that you put Kevin Malone up on the screen, he is actually a big Packers fan. So that's
yes,
good, right?
Yes. That is so true.
Yeah. All right. So what do you guys think about the numbers there, Emilio? What do you think about it, dude? As far as how the numbers sit right now, Packers being 2.5-point favorites. It's reached 3 at times. I think it'll probably stay settled in at 2.5 though.
Yeah, I mean, we have the better record, right? We've played a tougher schedule. I think that it's a fair number. We are traveling. It's been a little bit, and I think that Seattle's going to give us a run. That's why I was wondering earlier when I was asking, would you want to lose this one to feel better about winning the next one, or do you want to win both? I mean, because if we have to go play them in the playoffs, it's tough to beat a team twice. It's even tougher to beat them 3 times. So in the same year, is that something that we're scared about at all, or you fine, let them go hammer it out, and we'll keep moving forward?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Either way you look at it, because it's like you said, it's so hard to beat a team twice. It's even harder to beat them a third time. You can kind of drive yourself crazy thinking about this,
right?
But I think the most important thing is momentum. Go out there and try to dominate. At this point in the season, you don't want to just try to ink by any win. It's just, all right, guys, we got to get this thing. Listen, we're in 3rd gear. We're about to shift into 4th. We need to get the 5th as quick as possible, right? And just hit this playoff with crazy momentum. I don't know. How do you, Carly, how do you feel about what Emilio just asked there in terms of the momentum going into the playoffs like that when you're trying to beat a team? It's so hard to beat a team twice in a year is what you said, right, Emilio? That's what was there. Yeah. So what do you think, Carly?
Well, from that question, do you want to lose this one to feel good about winning the next one? Is that a Packer fan talking? Are you crazy? We want to win them all. Thank you very much. Let's go. Let's just keep it running. Get the momentum going. Get the pack train running, and let's just steamroll them all. I want to win out this thing.
Love it.
Yeah, let me just paraphrase what Carly was just saying. Now, if I could find it here, there it is. Play to win the game. We need that sound drop back. We got to get it back. Right. We'll throw it, for sure. Right next to this one.
Here we go.
Oh gosh.
Well, I feel like it's been forever, hasn't it? Poor Dak. Moment of silence for Dak. Moment of silence for Dallas. Did you guys see them lose that game on special teams?
Dude, we broke them when we destroyed them in Jerry World. We broke that team.
Did you guys watch that stupid gimmick that the Simpsons did for the game? Did y'all watch that?
I saw bits and pieces of it. Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Tim. I was outraged until I watched it, and I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I thought it was absolutely awesome, dude. Seeing Mo catch a sideline pass and juke somebody, Mo the bartender with his apron on, I'm like, why don't we do every game like this? This is absolutely awesome. But I'm a big Simpsons fan, so. All right, so anybody else got anything for the market here? Anything at all? Going once, going twice, sold.
Sold.
All right. So there is your PFF gambling degenerate preview there. There's no reason to get into the lineups and stuff just yet. I think we should just probably wait on that and maybe hit on it tomorrow. There will not be a morning show. I got to get out in this cold weather and do some work. We got to do some trimming and stuff. So we'll be out of the loop in the morning. What are you laughing about, Amelia?
You said, I go do some trimming.
7 in the morning, right?
Yeah, I just
Here's what I'll be doing. I'll be doing this in the morning right here.
It looked like Jabba the Hutt and Aunt Jemima had a kid. Pull that back
Leave Kevin Malone alone, man. Packer fan, baby.
Did he have the pinky out with the glass too? I got to see that one more time. He did. Look at the pinky.
Sure.
Oh man!
For those of you listening on the pod, that was our buddy. God, what's his name now? I can't think of his first name. Malone.
Kevin
Malone from The Office. Had a towel wrapped around his head, drinking a martini. Was he biting on a cucumber all seductively too there?
Yep, you gotta love it, man.
A slice of cucumber. Calm down out there on the podcast, okay? It was a slice of cucumber.
I think it was a pickle.
And it's Brian Baumgartner is his name. We gotta give him credit for his real name.
He's Kevin.
Not actually Kevin.
Stop trying to be modest, Tim. He's Kevin. Go ahead, Carter. What were you gonna say?
I said I think it's a pickle.
Was it a pickle?
I think it's a pickle.
Cucumber is a pickle, right? So there you go.
I mean, it's a good thing he's got a towel around all that hair he's got, you know.
Bro, we got a couple Amish stores here locally, and they got these pickles that are sweet. Oh my God. Let me tell you, on a grilled cheese sandwich, take me right back to the trailer park, baby. I love it. I'm telling you.
You better bring some of those up for snacking on for the draft.
We'll do that. We'll definitely do that. We'll get some of those up there for sure.
Some cheese curds, some sweet pickles.
I'm just going to have a 55-gallon drum of elk stroganoff at the Airbnb for the draft party. That's what's going to happen there. So we're going to be good to go. Anything else you guys want to hit on before we wrap up here? I think we've covered quite a bit tonight, and I wanted to
just stir this pot real quick. Drew D says, "Did you guys talk about how the fan that got into it with LaFleur got his season tickets revoked?"
Ooh, I didn't know that, Drew. So they got revoked. That's
Whoa,
great.
I totally missed that. Can we go run over that real quick for those who have not heard of this situation?
Yeah, so basically, and you guys correct me, Emilio, Tim, or correct me if I got something wrong here. Before the game,
hold on. Before we go into the details, let's make sure we get the right picture up. Okay, there's Tupac. Go ahead.
So essentially, what happened, Carly? Pre-game on NFL Network, and it's not like the actual pregame. They do like this around the league type thing during the games. They cut away and they showed Matt LaFleur cussing this fan out on the field. I mean, he's dropping some wordy dirts, let me tell you. Okay. So he's going off, and it's like, what in the world happened, right? So evidently a fan was on the field for the national anthem. He was a part of their festivity, right? Like it was planned. It wasn't like he ran on the field.
Yeah.
Wasn't he holding the flag, like the big flag they put over the field? Right.
And he was walking past LaFleur going like this and
doing the throat slash at him.
Throat slash, talking trash to the Packers.
LaFleur wasn't having it.
Yeah, Tupac wasn't playing that noise.
So LaFleur gets up and told him to shut the you-know-what up. And
LaFleur told him to basically kick rocks. And we don't hang banners for NFC championships. And dude was not happy about it.
He said, how many Lombardis do y'all got? Shut up.
Let me see your trophy case, LaFleur said. And dude kept throat slashing Matt, and losing.
Yeah. And then Matt was like,
sit your butt outside.
So they got him out of there, and I thought that there was jokes on Twitter, and it was Lions fans trying to make light of the situation. They said, all they did was took him up to a suite. Ha, great job, like he was doing something, great for the organization. But so what Drew is now giving us an update on, did you guys talk about how the fan got into it with LaFleur, got his season tickets revoked? Drew, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. That's
great.
Awesome.
I put a little bit more mustard into that Lombardi take, Clay. So I think that
oh yeah,
that'd be tough now.
Hey,
So this was a Lions fan that did this.
Right. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was one of the
Okay.
guys that goes on the field, holds the flag out, and he just
Yeah.
turned around because he was on the Packers sideline and started chirping real hard.
Wow.
And Matt LaFleur was
Crazy.
like,
How dare you?
Mhm. And they said, Matt, you can't talk like that. We'll have to edit that out. And he said,
Edit D's. How about that?
there you go. All right. So that's pretty much that's the gist of what happened, right? And as they sent him to his car, I guarantee you, they said, listen, your season tickets have been revoked. And
Stay off the damn weed.
it's the duh at the end that gets me every
Yeah.
time. Duh. So, all right.
Gotta
This
love
show
our-
sucks officially.
gotta love our coach for sticking up for our guys, man. There it is. Cam knows what's up. Tupac
Cam knows exactly what's up.
Let's
That's
go.
right.
Let's go. He said, how do you want it? That's what he said.
How do I started to sing it. I better not do that. On air. We don't get in trouble. So, anything else y'all got before we wrap up here? Anything at all?
No morning show. I'm sleeping in tomorrow, Clayton. That's awesome.
You're excited, ain't you?
I am.
Just
Welcome
know
to the party, Tim. That's a great time, man.
when you're sleeping in, I'm gonna be out there at 26 degrees trimming some bushes. All right.
Me
what's gonna be
too.
going
Me
on.
too.
There you go. That'll be Tim in the morning while I'm freezing. Unbelievable. We got to save that. That's a dandy there. Carly, anything you want to say? Anything smart you want to end this with? As we've absolutely ruined the show here at the end.
Oh no, not smart, but I'm just really glad that picture of Kevin has his pinkies relatively straight.
What are you doing, Carly? What are you talking about, Carly? Have you seen crooked pinkies before?
I'm not looking.
How about these hands?
She showed it. All right, that's it, guys. This show sucks. We're out of here. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much in the super chat. Y'all are way too generous. As Joseph with the super chat, Dan Mullen with the super chat, and Jake G126 with the super chat. Thank y'all so much. And again, Brambo, reach out, buddy. Send me a text, send me an email, a homing pigeon, something. All right, let's get you this autograph Romeo Dobbs card. Appreciate you supporting the show. As always, let's go out and be the change you want to see in the world. Go Pack, go.
And we go.
Bye, guys.